It's windy, and so I am very fluffy. I have a hypothesis, and that is that the witnesses deep down, this is not just the witnesses, but I would think like many religions that deal with eschatology, the end of the world, a lot of them don't really believe deep down. They don't really. Some of them do, but I don't think the witnesses do. On average, some of them, yes, diehards, but I would think it is a minority who are super zealots. And there's a couple reasons, and I have a litmus test. But first, we must provide a little bit of counterexample. So Harold Camping was a radio and televangelist guy who predicted that in 2012 the world would end. That's when Armageddon was coming. He did some wacky Bible math, much like the witnesses, equally silly. And he was convinced that 2012 was the end of the world. And his followers were convinced. They sold their homes. They liquidated their 401ks. They used up their bank account. They planned just enough money to get to the end date that he predicted. They used that money to buy billboard space and to travel around the country, to go to major cities and hold up signs and warn people to try and save as many as possible. I mentioned Harold Camping before. The Watchtower also mentions him under false prophets. You could find a couple references to him in the Watchtower library. Now, Harold Camping did not use this prediction to make a fortune because the people that followed him didn't send him the money, they spent it themselves, traveling around, buying ad space, buying signs on buses, stuff like that, because they were trying to save as many people as possible. They really believed, and then when the end didn't come, they were left financially destitute. But he was obviously a true believer. He believed his own weird math, and they were believers, and he wasn't just scamming them out of money because he didn't disappear. He was very embarrassed and like, I don't know what happened. I thought I had it right. You can watch a documentary on, I think it's still on Amazon Prime, called Wheat and Tares, Tares. Very interesting. Now, as my counterexample, let's talk about the witnesses. There are witnesses that will say the world can't go on another 5 years. Can't go on. The Armageddon's got to happen before then because look at things. They're crazy. Look at the news. Look at what's going on in the world right now. You can't really think the world's going to go on another 5 years. Okay. This is an opportunity for believing witnesses. I had this in the comments, but I thought this was worthy of a video. I commented this exact same point. I will make a deal to any current believing witness that wants to stop my apostasy. I will sign a contract with you that I will not say anything about the witnesses online in text, video, audio, whatever, for 5 years. You will stop my apostasy. You will stop me from stumbling witnesses. You will stop me from turning away honest-hearted people that are interested in the witnesses. I don't have as many followers as other XJWs, but I do have one video that did very well, 100-something thousand views. All the comments are very negative. Because people are like, that's horrifying. I can never imagine being a member of the witnesses. I'm really doing Satan's work, I guess. And you can stop me. I will agree to stop. If you sign a contract that in 5 years I own all of your stuff. I will pay the legal fees. I will pay the travel fees, travel expenses. I will put you up in a nice hotel. But in 5 years, I get your house and your car and your savings account and all of your stuff. Now, if you really believe that this isn't going to go on for 5 years, that's meaningless because I'll be dead. Stephen Lett will come down from the sky and have cooked me and my cute little babies. And money will be meaningless. You know, the things that moth and rust consume, they'll be throwing it in the streets. You will not be affected by this contract in any way if you are a true believer, if you really wholeheartedly believe that this world will end in 5 years. I'm willing to negotiate. We can push the date out further. 10 years seems excessive, but I'm generous. 20 years seems absurd. You really think that the generation that witnessed the generation that saw 1914 are going to last 20 years? Anthony Morris and Kenneth Cook do not look like healthy fellows. Jeffrey Jackson, these are not healthy dudes. They're not going to last 20 years. So Armageddon has to come before then because they need to be alive. They need to be beamed up at the last minute for things to fulfill Bible prophecy. So we can negotiate between 5 and 10 years. You will stop me from doing Satan's work. Who knows how many witnesses you will save. I've woken up at least a handful of people that have said that my videos were the first thing they saw where they were willing to watch ex-witness content. So you'll save some people, and all you have to do is sign a contract with me that should be meaningless to you. So, if you want to take me up on that, contact me. I am 100% serious on this. Now, the thing is, to the rest of my audience who is not a believing witness, I don't think they'll take me up on this because deep down, I think the cognitive dissonance is running. I think that they know that they have doubt, where they're like, ooh, I do want to say that I believe that it's going to be the end, a few years from now, but what if it's not? And that's the doubt. You don't really believe. You don't really believe. You're hoping and you're waiting, but there's doubt. Harold Camping's people spent everything that they had, and they were very zealous. They were trying to save people. If you really thought that all of your neighbors were going to get killed by fireballs, any day now, you should be a lot more enthusiastic than writing 1 or 2 letters on a Zoom call on the weekends, because from what I've heard, the output of letters right now during the pandemic is minuscule. It's 1 to 2 letters, a service day. It's very inefficient use of time. You should be, blasting this on every available medium to save as many people as possible, but you're not. So either one, you don't really buy the line that it's going to end any day now. Probably also aren't aware that the governing body says everyone who isn't a witness will die. That might change your attitude a little bit. But the other thing, it's either you don't really believe or you have a callous disregard for anyone who isn't a witness. And neither of those is a very good look, to be like, I don't really care if they die. It's fine. I'm not really that motivated to save them. I wouldn't look at, let's say it's the home of a horrible person who's a horrible racist and it's burning down. I would still try and save them. I wouldn't be like, I don't really like them, so I don't really want to try and save them. I would still be motivated to save them. So you'd have to just really not care about human life for the way that the witnesses act in general. They're not very zealous in service, not really. It's a lot of breaks for coffee and picking up groceries and chit chat. The minority of witnesses are hardcore time counting efficiency machines. Anyway, we're getting off topic. If you want to, and don't say that this is a test of your faith, and we don't serve Jehovah for a date. We don't serve God for a date. You're constantly saying the world is about to end. You absolutely are. You absolutely are. People make decisions based on this. You may not be serving for a specific date. You're certainly serving for a timeline. It says in your own publications that the end is going to come before Stephen Lett and company die. That's the current thing. That is a date. It's not a hard date, but it's a date range. They can't be alive in 2022, or not 2022, no. 22. They're not going to live 200 years. That means there's a set date. There's a timeline. They're not going to live over 100. None of these guys is going to live over 100. We can guess when things are going to end. You're serving for a date range. So let's prove it. Prove that you really believe. And this is something I 100%, assuming I get a judicial committee, I am going to bring up with the elders. Do you believe this? You wholeheartedly believe this? They will say. You wholeheartedly believe. all of this stuff. Uh-huh. All right, well, I want you, like, sign a contract with me. Prove it. Prove it. I'm willing to act on my belief that this is nonsense because I am willing to risk. Risk has an asterisk, which I put next to 0%. I'm willing to risk my own safety, my kids' safety, my wife's safety. Because if they're right, I die. I am willing to put my money where my mouth is. I don't believe it. I think that this is nonsense, and I am certain enough that I am willing to, in their eyes, put my family at risk. I think that there's zero risk. I think it's complete and utter nonsense. The guy ranting on the corner that, I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog is going to return and, like, saw the world in half with his spines has as much validity as the governing body. It's nonsense. But I am willing to put my money where my mouth is. I am willing to put my life on the line and say, I don't believe it, and, you know, I don't believe the governing body, and I reject them. I reject their nonsense, and I refuse to listen to them. So, you know, I'm going to give you the opportunity to do the same thing. Let's see who is more certain, who is willing to, you know, who is willing to make a bigger commitment. Give me your stuff. I want your stuff. And here's the thing, though. Like, I'm not going to take all your stuff and make you homeless, you know. I'm not. But I want to... I do want you to sign a contract with me. I really, really do. I think that would be immensely funny. Because in 5 years, when our contract has reached its climax and I can make another video, that will be a wonderful video. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna make a documentary about this. It'll be great. I'll do follow-ups. It'll be a great 5-year project. Please sign a contract with me. Please try and prove me wrong. Because if you want to be smug in, you know, 2 to 3 years when the end comes, I will give you my phone number. You can call me when Armageddon starts and say, you shouldn't have done that deal with me. You shouldn't have done that deal. And I'll go, oh, shucks, you got me. Fireball, Stephen Lett got me. Oh! And you can feel immensely validated. Or not, and I get a free house, you know. It works out great for you. It's going to work out better for me because I am certain that Armageddon isn't going to happen. Ever. Ever. It's never, ever going to happen. Call me. Contact me. We'll find a lawyer. We'll work it out. Anyway, I don't think... Here's that again. Back to my main point. How many witnesses would be willing to do this? Not many. Not many. Because deep down they know. Deep down they know that it's not real. Most of them. Even the governing body is spending 6 years building a stinking giant movie studio. They don't buy it either. They don't believe it either. They don't believe it. My parents were like, we never thought you'd graduate high school. We never thought you'd get married. We never thought you'd have a kid. Yeah, you didn't, but you still, you know, paid your mortgage. Deep down, you didn't really buy it. Some do. Definitely don't plan ahead. I didn't plan ahead. I have stupid ass giant debt that I have to deal with because I didn't realize in the back of my head, I was like, oh, the world's going to end. I don't really have to worry about this stuff. I don't have to save. I don't have to think about budgeting. Great. Yep. Well, nice. Yeah. Well, if a witness wants to give me their house, that will fix that. You know, we'll be even Stevens. I'll count that against the debt that the governing body owes me. We'll call it square with them too. So, I don't think they believe it. I think this would be a great thing. Please ask witnesses this. If you are PMO, if you are going to get a judicial committee, if the elders are coming around, try this out. I really want to know what they'll say. They'll try and wiggle their way out of it, but like, really, I'm really interested to see if any of them, what they'll do to be like, no, I won't be tested. I won't put God to the test. You're not putting God to the test at all. You're not saying, God, do this or I won't serve you. It's between us humans. Your belief versus mine that it won't happen. It has nothing to do with testing God. You're not questioning God in this at all. All right, I'm going to stop rambling. Please ask witnesses to give you their stuff. See what happens. I think it's funny. It's pretty funny. They won't do it because they don't believe. They don't believe deep down. They don't believe. They don't believe that much. They believe... I've already said this enough. Anyway, I appreciate you. This is kind of a long ramble. Poofy. Poofy, poofy. It's very windy out. And it's beautiful. Look at those beautiful fences. And a little lake. Anyway, so thank you for watching to the end. Again, you're wonderful. I appreciate you. It's a beautiful day. It's going to rain soon, so that's good because it's 90 degrees. It's very hot. It's going to be it's a Memorial Day weekend. I hope you have fun. Hope you have a fun, nice weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy yourself. Don't worry about freaking Stephen Lett coming to get you because he ain't going to. It's nonsense. Put that out of your mind and just enjoy time with your friends and family. The ones that you still have. Oh, sad note. Let's not end on a sad note. Things are good. Things are nice. I'm having a great time. I hope that you have. I hope that was interesting and informative and funny and maybe a good idea to get a free house in 5 years. I would like, if you want to kick me a percent, should anyone be able to pull this off, I wouldn't be unhappy about that. Little finder's fee for the idea. All right. Well, that's all I've got. I don't know what my point is. Just kind of whatever. Welcome to my mind again. I'm going to go now. Right at 17 minutes. I will see you again next time.